The role of DNA in solving decades-old missing persons cases. The application of DNA technology has revolutionized forensic research, particularly in cases involving long unresolved missing persons. Detectives are able to identify individuals and connect them to their families by using unique genetic markers, solving long-standing mysteries and providing closure for cherished ones. In this video, we will show you the role of DNA in solving decades-old missing persons cases. Number 7. Advancements in DNA technology. Advances in DNA technology have had a tremendous impact on the area of forensic science, especially when it comes to cold cases concerning missing persons. In the past, DNA analysis relied on methods that needed samples that were mostly intact, which made it difficult to recover genetic material from older or deteriorated evidence. However, new advancements in this discipline, like as advanced polymerase chain reaction techniques and next-generation sequencing, have fundamentally altered it. The simultaneous sequencing of millions of DNA fragments made possible by NGS significantly increases the amount of genetic data that can be analyzed from a single sample. When there isn't much biological stuff present, such as hair, bone, or teeth, this is extremely beneficial. In addition, the analysis of mitochondrial DNA has become an indispensable method for determining ancestry when nuclear DNA is not accessible. This is due to the fact that mtDNA may be retrieved from older remains and is inherited maternally. These developments have given forensic experts fresh impetus to explore cold cases by allowing them to recover valuable DNA profiles from previously unviable samples and to open up new possibilities for inquiry and resolution. Number 6. Successful case resolutions. The application of modern DNA technology has allowed for the successful resolution of many cold cases that had been unsolved for years or even decades. The identification of individuals such as William Hardy, whose bones were discovered in Australia in 1983 but whose identity remained a mystery until 2023, has been greatly advanced by forensic genomics. In this case, researchers used cutting-edge methods for DNA extraction and analysis to get a genetic profile from Hardy's bones. His identification was ultimately confirmed when this profile and living relatives matched through genealogical databases. These kinds of victories show the tremendous impact that contemporary forensic science may have on unresolved cases. Not only may genetic data be used to identify victims, but it can also reassure families who have endured years of confusion and sorrow. Furthermore, these resolutions serve as powerful reminders of the importance of ongoing investment in forensic technology and procedures, since they can provide remarkable outcomes even after prolonged periods of inactivity in investigations. Number 5. Retesting of evidence. Retesting biological evidence from earlier studies using modern DNA tools is one of the most effective ways to solve cold cases. Evidence from numerous unresolved cases was collected in the past, but it was analyzed with less advanced methods that at the time could not yield definitive answers. For example, biological materials may have been subjected to traditional short tandem repeat analysis, which requires reasonably undamaged DNA. However, more recent techniques like as Y chromosome analysis and single nucleotide polymorphism profiling allow forensic specialists to recover valuable profiles from damaged materials that were previously believed to be useless. In a well-known case, evidence from 3 unsolved murders in North Carolina was retested. Following years of research, detectives analyzed historical DNA samples using contemporary technology, which produced a match with a convicted criminal and a confession. This method highlights how important it is to maintain current forensic practices and revitalize outdated investigations with fresh scientific findings. It demonstrates how even seemingly insignificant evidence can yield significant results when given to modern analysis techniques, highlighting the requirement that law enforcement agencies regularly preserve and analyze their evidence archives. Number 4. Public participation. Using DNA technology to investigate missing person situations now requires public participation. Law enforcement agencies are encouraging people to voluntarily contribute their DNA to genealogical databases like Ancestry DNA and 23andMe, which can be used to discover missing persons, by matching their genetic profiles to those of potential relatives. This collaborative approach has proven to be effective, for instance. When family members provide their DNA profiles to public databases, it can aid in the identification of missing persons by highlighting familial connections that may otherwise go unnoticed. The Golden State Killer case, in which investigators used DNA databases to connect a suspect who had escaped capture for decades to distant relatives, serves as the best example of this. In addition, initiatives like the DNA Doe Project actively seek for public participation by contacting anyone who may have knowledge of missing persons or unexplained remains and asking them to come forward and donate their genetic material for analysis. This community-based engagement promotes involvement in public safety programs and provides law enforcement with crucial resources to resolve unresolved cases. By harnessing the power of collective genetic data, law enforcement agencies can significantly enhance their investigative powers and increase the likelihood of cracking long-standing riddles. Number 3. Comprehensive identification process. The process of identifying missing persons by DNA involves several important steps that combine to provide a complete picture of the individual. Biological evidence is initially collected with great care from crime scenes or from relatives who may provide reference samples for comparison. Samples of blood, hair, and other tissues are a few types of biological evidence. Next, forensic investigators use state-of-the-art sequencing tools to derive complete DNA profiles from these samples using techniques like STR analysis and whole genome sequencing. These profiles are compared to databases that currently contain profiles of known offenders or unidentified remains from earlier investigations. Investigative genetic genealogy is a method that links unrelated pieces of information, geographic coordinates, familial ties, genetic markers to solve cases that have dragged on for years without a resolution. It entails creating family trees based on shared genetic markers discovered in submitted DNA profiles and tracking down distant relatives who might be able to help investigators identify the missing person. This process's methodical approach highlights the need for collaboration between forensic scientists, law enforcement, and families seeking closure, as well as the ways in which contemporary science can fill in the gaps left by more conventional investigation techniques. Number 2. Legal implications. Global criminal justice systems need to take into account the significant legal implications of the advancement and dependability of DNA technology. With the increasing precision and reliability of forensic DNA evidence, there is debate of revising statutes of limitations for certain crimes, particularly those involving missing persons or unexplained remains. Law enforcement agencies can now obtain unique DNA profiles from crime scenes in order to validate John Doe warrants. Investigations are allowed to proceed under this legal procedure, even in situations where suspects are not immediately identified or apprehended, using just circumstantial evidence. This shift reflects the growing recognition within the legal systems of the importance of forensic evidence in ensuring that criminals are held accountable for their actions, regardless of the amount of time that has passed since the crime. In addition, debates concerning the ethical implications of utilizing genetic data from public databases are ongoing. These debates balance the need for justice against privacy issues and highlight the difficulties in integrating state-of-the-art forensic technologies into legal frameworks that are already in place. As courts increasingly recognize DNA evidence as reliable evidence in criminal trials, questions arise concerning how to uphold people's rights while effectively utilizing these powerful instruments. Number 1. Future potential. The potential for using DNA technology to solve cold cases in the future seems promising as forensic science continues its rapid evolution, driven by ongoing research and development efforts aimed at enhancing genetic analysis techniques. These efforts include improvements in sensitivity and accuracy that could further streamline workflows within laboratories dedicated solely to addressing unresolved matters involving missing persons or unidentified remains across jurisdictions globally. There is now an unprecedented opportunity to not only resolve existing cold case files, but also prevent future ones through proactive measures taken by law enforcement agencies, working collaboratively alongside communities deeply invested in ensuring public safety measures remain effective over time without compromising ethical standards upheld throughout these processes. More people may decide to actively participate in efforts to positively contribute to the resolution of historical injustices that have affected both victims and their families. This cooperative partnership between local law enforcement and the community has enormous potential to improve investigative skills and, in the end, bring justice to the families of victims while creating an atmosphere in which science plays a crucial role in solving long-standing mysteries. These specifics offer a comprehensive look into how DNA technology is essential to the resolution of instances involving missing persons that date back decades, as well as how it has revolutionized forensic investigations and the legal system as a whole. If you liked our video, please hit the like button and subscribe to our YouTube channel.